Hey friends, I made these old-fashioned, sort of homemade dumplings for supper the other night. They were so good and fluffy, and I'll show you exactly how I made them. We're going to start with 4 cups of water with some chicken bouillon, or you can use any of your favorite kind of chicken broth that you like. Then we're going to add in some pepper, and I'm telling you guys, we want this to taste like an old-fashioned chicken and dumpling. You don't need to add in any other seasonings at this point. This is going to have a great flavor. Now we're going to add in our chicken, and this is going to be up to you what you want to use. I used 4 chicken thighs with the skin, with the bone. You could use chicken leg quarters, you could use chicken breasts, you can use skinless, boneless, though I do think that since we're going to take the skin off, this gives it a good flavor. Either way, put in some chicken, simmer that until it's done. This took about 30 minutes. I used my meat thermometer to make sure these were all the way done inside, and they were. And then we're going to take these over to the counter. We're going to pull off all that skin, take the meat off the bone before we put it back in this pot. Now, to make this a little bit simpler, you could use a skinless, boneless, then you wouldn't have to do this step, but this does give it a lot of good flavor, and it really gives it that kind of old-fashioned flavor you remember from when your mom or your grandma used to make it. So you can see here, the next step is sitting there in the background, the Bisquick. I love Bisquick dumplings. I don't want to try it to make them from scratch because I know I love Bisquick. It's simple, it's quick, it's easy, and they always turn out for me. So that's going to be our next step. But first, let's go back over to our pot, and I use this little skimmer just to get out all those little skimmy floating things from when the chicken was cooking. And then we're just going to add our chicken back into here. And now I tasted my broth and it was a little bit salty, and I thought it could use a little bit more, so I added 2 more cups of water. Taste it at this point, see if you want to add chicken broth or water. Now we're going to go back over to the counter and make this Bisquick. 2 cups of Bisquick to 2/3 of a cup milk, just like it says on the back. Now I've made this so many times, I'm just going to eyeball it because I know exactly the consistency it should be and the consistency I want it to be. So I just mix this all together with the milk. Make sure it's a nice soft dough, thicker than pancakes, but a nice soft sticky dough. And then once you have that all mixed together, we're just going to drop this by spoonfuls right into that bubbling chicken broth. When I put these in, I just want to make sure that they're not plopping on each other. We want to make sure they're not touching as they go in. Once they start cooking a minute, then they can start touching, but I just kind of avoid the ones that are already in there. And now, this is where I differ from the Bisquick box a little bit. I'm going to put this lid on, and I am going to simmer these for 10 minutes. Don't peek, don't open it up, just leave them simmer for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to take this lid off, and I'm going to turn off the heat and let them sit in here for about 5 or 10 minutes. This is going to completely cook them, get that broth to thicken up like a gravy. I don't continue to cook them for 10 minutes like the Bisquick box says. Now we're going to scoop these out, and they are light and fluffy and so delicious. A good gravy, a good chicken flavor. You guys have got to try this recipe. It's so good. Look at how fluffy these are inside. If you like this recipe, I hope you try it. Give it a like, subscribe, come back for more of my favorite recipes, and thanks for watching.